This is Scattered Matters. I'm Scat.
And I'm Maddie. This question comes from Andrea.
What if everyone suddenly woke up with just one eye?
I guess I'd become Captain Scat, the pirate.
I guess that's what the eye patch is for?
I just wanted to see what it's like to have one eye. Turns out it's very weird. Everything looks kind of flat.
Of course it does. You're missing out on the wonders of having two eyes. You've abandoned the magic of depth perception.
Magic? I love magic. Please explain, Professor Maddie.
All right, let's start with having two eyes. The first big thing is something called two-eye parallax.
Two-eye parallax? Sounds like a movie villain.
Yeah, kind of. But this one helps you perceive the depth of field, the distance from here to there. You see, your two eyes see slightly different views of the world, and your brain combines those two views to figure out how far away things are.
So, it's like the brain's version of cross-referencing?
Exactly. That's why if you close one eye, it's harder to catch a ball. It's missing that double-angle data. And then there's another method that your eyes use called vergence.
Vergence. What's vergence?
Vergence is when your eyes rotate inward or outward, depending on how close something is. The brain measures the angle between your eyes and uses that to calculate the distance to an object.
So it's like my eyes are a couple of geometry nerds. Very cool. But Maddie, how do you know so much about this two-eyed magic stuff?
Oh, well, I just woke up this morning with all this amazing knowledge in my head. Of course, the fact that I studied to be an optometrist a few years back certainly helps. It was quite fascinating.
Okay, gotcha. So, let's talk about this one-eyed phenomenon that Andrea asked about.
Well, to start with, it would be really awkward. People would probably be stumbling all over the place.
Oh yeah, and I bet a lot of coffee would miss hitting that coffee cup. Man, what a waste of coffee.
True. Your depth perception would be way off. You would stumble at steps and stairs, miss the coffee cup, and a pirate like you might even miss the toilet.
Hey now, wait a minute. I'm guessing you gals would have a heck of a time putting that eyeliner on. And what about giving that cute guy a wink at the club? Or would that just be considered a blink?
Fashion and eye signals would definitely change.
I'm guessing the world would temporarily fall into chaos. Factory workers, construction workers, all types of workers would definitely need retraining to avoid catastrophic injuries.
That's true. But after a while, we humans would definitely adjust. There are several ways our brains can judge depth with one eye.
Really? Do tell, Maddie.
Well, when you're stuck with just one eye, things definitely get trickier. But depth perception isn't impossible. You've still got one-eye depth cues.
Go on. My pirate brain craves knowledge.
All right, let's start with motion parallax. When you are moving, objects closer to you appear to move faster than objects farther away. Think of looking out of the car window. The trees near the road zoom past, but the mountains in the distance hardly budge.
Okay, yeah. Like nature's speedometer. Got it. What's next?
There's the kinetic depth effect. That's when a moving object, like a spinning cube, reveals its 3D shape as it rotates. It's your brain that is decoding movement to figure out depth and size of the object.
So basically we need motion to see depth with one eye?
Exactly. Another motion cue is optical expansion, where an object grows larger as it gets closer. Your brain reads that as incoming, watch out, or get ready to catch that ball.
Okay, great for dodging cannonballs. But what about when things don't move?
That's where static or stationary cues come into play, such as the relative size cue, which means that smaller objects are perceived as farther away if they're the same type of object. Think about a row of streetlights. The ones furthest away look smaller than the ones closer.
All right, but I'm guessing it might be more difficult when comparing different objects, right?
That's where familiar size kicks in. That's when your brain uses what you already know about an object's size. Like, you know that a car isn't smaller than a coffee cup. So if a car looks tiny, it has to be further away than that coffee cup.
Just like when my ship over there is smaller than my jug of rum, right?
That's right, Captain.
And I'll bet airline pilots would have a heck of a time judging when and where to land their aircraft.
In that situation, pilots would have to use the parallel lines cue. Have you ever noticed how train tracks seem to converge in the distance? Your brain knows they're parallel, so that convergence screams depth or distance. They would definitely be repainting new patterns on the airline runways.
So, what about sport? Wouldn't a quarterback have a heck of time judging where to throw the football? Or can you imagine being a ski jumper trying to make that perfect landing?
For sure. Athletes would definitely have to make some major adjustments. It all comes down to perspective, comparing this versus that.
Oh, pirates love perspective. Anything else?
Oh, plenty. There's the horizon effect, where the closer something is to the horizon line, the farther away it appears.
So like Mini-Me versus Biggie-Me.
Yep. And then there's occlusion. which is when one object blocks part of another, signaling that the blocker is closer. Then we have surface shading and shadow shape, where the way the light falls and creates shadows tells your brain about the 3D shape of objects.
So shadows aren't just spooky, they're informative?
Exactly. Shadows are like little storytellers about an object's depth and texture.
Alrighty then, you've convinced me. The way I see it with my one eye, just having one eye wouldn't be all that bad. The world wouldn't come to a halt. It would continue on but would definitely have an adjustment period before resuming its normal course of life.
So, Captain Scat the Pirate, I have one question for you.
What's that, Maddie?
Where's your peg leg?
What you talking about, Maddie?
I have 2 peg legs.
Please remember to subscribe. Go ahead, push that button. You know you want to.